I don't know who they are, but let's see who they are. Yeah, this is them here. One of these are the Takoma Park person. And have you ever noticed how when they get caught on camera, they feel that they don't have to, they act like, oh, nonchalant about it? This your car?
It's Alex's, but yeah.
It's my car.
What's your, you have a credits?
What was that?
You have credits?
Okay.
A business card.
A business card? I don't have one on me, but I can give you my contact info if you like.
What do you do for the Takoma Park?
I'm the acting planning manager.
You know you're parked in a no parking zone?
I did realize that, yes.
You do realize that?
Just found it.
Yeah.
So.
It was caught on our site visit. So I apologize.
No. I mean, what are you planning to do with this area around here now?
Right
Are you
here.
guys are gonna clean up the street?
Bikeway proposal.
Yeah.
So we're trying to find grant funding for the bikeway that's going to connect all the way.
You
from
work for
the-
Takoma Park?
I do. Yeah.
What is your
We
name?
chatted before.
You're the
Up on-
forester.
No. We were up on Sligo talking about the.
What's your name
fencing.
again?
I'm Ian.
Ian.
Yeah.
Okay, so let me ask you a question. You're trying to build a park trail through this little piece of wooded area.
No. Out here on the asphalt.
Okay,
And
but
it's going to connect all the way from the transit center down into DC.
okay, but what about the sidewalks where your citizens have to walk in the street?
Yeah. We just got the complaint about the kudzu and took care of all that. So that's.
I'm talking about throughout your little town. I'm not talking about just right here.
Yeah.
I'm talking about in some of your roads, you don't have sidewalks on one side of the street. And therefore your handicapped, your elderly, and your children have to walk
So
in the street.
when we install the sidewalks, the goal is to get a walkable path on every single street. That's the mayor and council mandate. On some streets, it's too tight. Like we just walked 4th. You get down to the last block on 4th, you'll see that we don't
believe
have,
me, over by the little
Yeah.
ABC Park.
Yeah, we don't have the right of way there for it. And so we'll put a sidewalk on one side, but not the other.
But there's an easement on both sides of the street, didn't there?
No, there's not. If you look at
By law, it is.
No. If you look at MC Atlas, you'll see.
No.
Where the
What I'm
space is.
saying is, by law, where there is a public street, there's an easement on both sides of the street by law, and you can build a sidewalk on both sides of the street.
So in some cases, we've consumed all of that public right-of-way space with the existing roadbed, and so I only have a couple inches or a couple feet, and so I'll
I've
actually
measured it,
shift
Mr.
an
Allen.
entire-
Allen,
Yeah.
I've measured the street.
So if you look on MC Atlas,
No, I'm telling you what the law is. But I mean, I'm just saying, for
but
the
that's-
safety of your citizens, just hear me out for a minute.
Okay.
The safety of your citizens, I care less about a trail than to have children and elderly people walking in the street where there's a drunk or someone speeding up in the street and they're getting hit by it.
and you want
I don't care about a
curve
trail.
in between them.
Yeah, I want a sidewalk.
I used to teach the Safe Routes to School program when I worked at the city of Rockville. So for years, I've been doing pedestrian and bicycle safety, and I'm 100% with you. I do not think it is safe to be in the street with a pedestrian. It is safe to be on the sidewalk.
Correct. I care less about a trail.
Yeah.
You know, I really do. I mean,
have a,
you're just wasting government and taxpayers' dollars building a trail
the goal
instead of putting sidewalks.
Go with any multimodal transit system. So that's bicycles, pedestrians, any kind of personal vehicle sharing system. Any of those take drivers off of the roadway and put them either into additional seats in a vehicle or on a different surface. So I don't have enough space for trains, but I do have enough space for good, sound, and solid cycle.
If you can try to spin it any kind of way, your taxpayers of this town are getting tired of this. You're wasting.
Actually, grant funded.
No. Only reason you're doing this is because of the new homes that are about to come through here in this area. Yeah. But what I'm saying is, you have a lot of streets in this little town that sidewalks can go on. I'm talking about the safety of handicaps. If a person has a wheelchair or a child, hear me out for a minute, because you're not going to talk to me. I mean,
I've seen your stuff.
Okay,
I know.
And it's about safety. You have children going to parks. Go to the parks in this little town. They don't have sidewalks to travel on, and a drunk or individual who is speeding cares less about your transit rules when they zip through here and they hit somebody. I'm talking about somebody's family.
We're crossing into enforcement territory, and I
That's
know
true.
you've chatted with those guys too. But my goal is to promote the safe passage. So, especially if we have planners that are willing to work with the federal government and get us the grant dollars to bring in additional design assistance, so that we can put in good infrastructure the first time it goes in. And what I mean by bad infrastructure, you've walked on Kansas all the way out to the line.
Yeah.
You know that.
Look at this sidewalk. Look at this stuff here. That stuff goes into the city drains and it clogs it up. Go over Elm Street where your terrorist daughter lives, Bin Laden's daughter lives. They're rebuilding the drain off because of this stuff goes down into the drain off and clogs it up. You have to dig up the drain, spend money.
So that project I'm actually involved in. So I know a lot about it. That stormwater line was installed ages ago, before the city took over the stormwater system. That section of line that we replaced got failed by some tree roots, causing the pipes to offset. So it's not the debris from the street, it's literally the trees, which Takoma Park.
If you walk around, and you know, if you watch my platform, I walk around this town. Yeah. If you go to the street right over here, look at all the tree that's on that drain off over there. It does clog up with the roots. Everything.
The leaves and the roots are different, but I hear what you're saying.
Yeah,
I do.
But I'm just saying right now, you're spending money on a trail that people really don't need because you don't have that many bike riders riding down there.
Not spending the money on the trail. It's a grant program, and
well, I'm gonna see if we can change that grant because
chicken and the egg story about how you use public space. Because if there are no bikeways, then nobody rides here because it's dangerous. Because you're worried about that crazy driver or that drunk driver. You start to put in protected and otherwise sound, solid infrastructure for them, all of a sudden people start appearing. So I mean, I hear what you're saying about protect what we have first. Yeah. And yes, that's absolutely paramount. But the other things that we need to pay attention to are making sure that we're future planning so that we can make it better in the long run and not just
your children are your future.
Exactly.
Okay, and if you go to a lot of your parks in this little town, most of them just have one sidewalk where children have to walk across the street. You have more people using drugs, alcohol, and speeding through your town that I would have a problem if my child was going to a park and get hit by a car.
I mean,
and you're worrying about
we all have that problem.
But you're worrying about a trail. Let's put sidewalks where they should be, where the children can walk. And I know it's not you all the state.
Yeah, but it's
your upper branch
for sidewalks. Mm-hmm. If you want to push back on sidewalks, look and see where we're doing.
Well, the taxpayers are. They're getting fed up. No. Believe me, what I'm saying.
What I'm trying to do is the main sidewalk that connects most of the apartment housing in Takoma Park. That's everything along Maple Avenue. That's our population kind of focus.
What about these people?
These people are single-family homes.
Yeah.
You don't have.
They're taxpayers.
They're absolutely taxpayers.
Okay.
But if you want to talk about someone that's going to walk to a metro station, if you want to talk about 3 or 4 families,
I'm talking about children walking to your parks. That's what I'm talking about.
Let me finish my bit about what we're doing. I need to connect good, sound infrastructure from my population cluster to my transit cluster. So I have to go from where everybody, if I have a large group of people that live in one space, I need to provide for the large group of people that live in one space. So I have to provide sidewalk all the way up to that metro station on both sides of the street.
Correct.
I'm getting a lot of pushback on whether or not I put in sidewalk on both sides of that street, and for foolish reasons. So
Oh, I can imagine that
I'm
the bootlickers in this town. But the problem is,
call names, but
okay. But the problem is,
my point is I'm 100% with you, and yes, this is absolutely our priority. But I know that he has other meetings to get to, and he has other meetings to get to.
so do I, because I got a whole lot of more video to do.
yeah.
But I'm just saying, I don't know about the rest of the taxpayers in this area, but I care less about a trail, but to the safety
I
of the
hear that.
children
I do.
and the elderly in this town.
I hear that.
And since I be walking around here, I'm telling you, the speeding,
The parting of the waters.
the speeding and
It's
children,
gotten
it's getting worse.
Yep.
And for you to have parks for children to walk to by themselves, their parents may let them go, or 5 or 10-year-old, it's not safe. And I would not want my child to be hit by a vehicle because he didn't have a sidewalk to walk on.
Absolutely.
I don't care about a trail.
So
I really don't. And I
hear
ride
you.
bicycles,
But-
and most trails, people don't ride on them anyway.
Well, what I'll tell you is that every year we have sidewalk funding. Every year it is a large number. I don't know it off the top of my head right now, but the trails, the stuff that the planning department is doing, that's completely separate. That's not a part of our
So that's his
ADA
fault.
program.
That's his fault.
I'm not going to throw him under the bus.
Well, throw him on the bus because your taxpayers are saying you all have talked about this for years
Federal
and it's not
access
getting done.
grant. Talked about what?
The sidewalks.
No.
Yeah.
So when I come through to do a sidewalk retrofit, and if you need to take off, you can. I won't make you stay. Yeah.
Thanks for having me.
I know you guys just did this one, but what I'm saying is this.
So
If I live on this side, my children live on this side, they have to cross this street, and I would
Yes.
have a problem with that.
So the safest way to cross is at our crosswalks, and that's where we install them and why we install them. So I got
talking
one
about
here at
this-
the bottom of Goody.
I'm saying the sidewalks is what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the
But
sidewalk.
the sidewalk doesn't cross the street.
No, if my children, let's go to this ABC park down here, right here on Orchard and 4th Street.
Yeah.
To cross over to that park, there is no sidewalk
There's
If-
a sidewalk on one side.
on
of
one
the
side. But if you go up 4th Street, all the way up to Eastern Avenue, the sidewalk on the park, the side where the park is, there is no sidewalk. So the children,
So on Sligo Mill.
no,
right Now,
4th Street.
oh, 4th.
I'm not talking about Sligo Mill because
on
it's one
4th, I
side.
have sidewalk on the downslope side.
Not all the way up to Eastern.
But it's miserable from Westmoreland to Eastern.
Correct.
I have 2 sections in there with pinch points on them that don't meet the federal guidelines. So I know about it, man. But
Okay, I'm not. Believe me, I'm not
gotta-
saying I
I
don't know
gotta
you guys,
slowly work
but
my way
I'm
through.
saying it's your top brass, and there's enough money in you guys'
there
surplus
is enough money
to
and
do this and start putting
Well,
sidewalks in here.
I won't
instead
say
of
that I
the
have
trail.
any extra ARPA funding because all that ARPA money is already earmarked everywhere. So, but I do have my annual sidewalk budget, and
And the street sweeping of the street, and the cutting back. Look at these signs, how dirty they are. Some signs you can't
So-
even see. If you watch you see it, and I'm gonna put more. But come on, somebody's
calling it
dipping in the money. Somebody's dipping in the money.
no, come on, man. We have, I think it's a total of 10 guys that work, and it's not.
And they're
all
hard
the time.
workers. Your
Yes.
public work. If you're the public works man, I applaud
No,
you.
this is
No.
Public Works
Planning.
planning.
Okay, but your
I'm
public work
But you're talking
guys
about the
work.
right-of-way crews, and no,
Yeah.
they're not lazy guys.
No, they're
I
not.
know you've seen the supervisors. I know you've seen the staff out.
Yeah.
You've seen them, and they're normally doing things like putting down thermo. That's the striping at stops, or new crosswalks. All that.
Well, I haven't saw none of that, but I'm just saying we used to have a street sweeper come down here and sweep. Where is he?
The street sweeper is on its last leg.
That's
The
what.
new
There we
street
go.
sweeper-
You heard me in my platform saying you should have 3 or 4 of them.
but
You had the
new
money to
street
buy them.
sweeper is literally on its way. It's on a boat right now. Every week I get an update from the supervisor saying, "Okay."
But you
well,
can
we're
rent
still on
one.
it. I can't rent one and be financially
Sound with it. You need to.
responsible.
Okay.
Yeah, it's
All right.
not a good business decision.
All right,
But
because that's
the
what
one
I
we
tell my
currently
people.
have, there's some pieces in it that we need to get welded, and the parts that we have to weld to are also junk. And so it goes from, oh, I just need to hang this part back up so the vacuum works again, to, well, now I need to do this structural piece, and now I also need to do this part of the box repair. It's not just this one little part, it's all these different pieces. And then when you look at it, you don't have $16,000 to put into a piece of equipment. I know I'm going to retire the second that boat lands on United States.
Believe me, if you watch I told my people that it might be broke down, you might want to buy a new one. 2 or 3 of them. With the money you can.
2 or 3 of them.
Come on, all that surplus money y'all got, tell the mayor to stop getting grease in our hands and the city council.
No.
Yes,
so
yes.
The surplus money, a lot of it went to the. Now this is outside my world of expertise.
Then don't go there. Yeah, I don't want you to go. I mean, I'm glad to see you out here, but my main concern was you park illegal.
Yeah.
And
I don't think he knew he parked illegally.
He drove. You gonna throw him under the bus? He drove him up.
It was my parking.
So as we walked by, we all said, "By the way, Rojas is gonna get you." And Rojas is the parking enforcement in the area.
No, Bushman.
Is it a new one?
Isn't it Little Bushman, the one getting sued now?
No, there's more than one.
Okay, well, he the one.
But the one that's gotten me before is Rojas. And
well, the police was sitting there watching me, watch you, this car. So
that's unnecessary.
Yeah, anyway, it is.
We got other stuff they can do. But no, the 4 of us walked by. We're like, "You're gonna get a ticket. You're gonna get it." Yeah. And then when I saw you here, I was like, "Oh, all right. Well, we'll chat about this."
All right, gentlemen. I mean, I was just main thing was this. I just wanted to see who would come back to this vehicle illegally parked.
I mean,
yeah, I got you.
You know who it is.
That's right. Above the law.
I don't know about that.
He snatched all my cars and because of this foolishness, but he's gonna pay me for it. Takoma Park. Y'all may have less money come the first of the year, cause I'm gonna burn Takoma Park up in the lawsuit.
Well, play nice to the other kids, please. Play nice.
No, I don't tend to play nice. But all jokes aside, though, if y'all are parking planning, we need sidewalks because the children are paramount to innocent society. I don't care about a trail. And I ride bicycles. I don't rode from Germantown, Shenandoah, Baltimore. I know all the trails around here.
So that's why we have the funding every year. I mean, it's a line item. It's been, I think, 11 or 12 years that they've been funding this program for ADA sidewalks. There's new sidewalks going in all the time. I have a design for Sligo Mill right now. Mm-hmm. I hope to build it in the next year.
Well, it's not Sligo Mill. It's this ABC Park that I have. Sligo Mill is... One side is wooded.
Is the high side?
No, right here by this ABC Park.
Yeah, the high side of it.
Yeah.
Is Sligo Mill. So I'm gonna connect.
And people come around that curve and they speed through here. And believe me, I've been hit by a car. So I know if it kills a child, that is unacceptable.
I have stop signs that nobody stops at.
Yeah, unacceptable.
I mean, it's a process, but we're doing it. It just
okay.
And what I tell everybody is that we move at a glacial pace, and it's not because we want to, but I have to cross every T, dot every I, and then as soon as somebody, let's say I'm going to build a sidewalk in front of your house, and you don't like my sidewalk, well, now I got to take it baby steps slow.
Well,
but
by law, there is an easement on both sides of the street.
But I have to have strong support from my city executives. I have to have strong support from my mayor and council.
Well, that goes back to the bootlickers in this town. But
I'm not
you
have
to.
Names, but
no. But
if
serious.
I have strong leadership, I can absolutely.
You don't have strong leadership, and that's one of the problems here.
I do have pretty strong leadership. They've gotten us this far in terms of the last 12 years. I mean, this program has been around longer than I have been here doing it. So I will give credit to the.
Well, your taxpayers have saying it's been 4 or 5 years that they keep talking about this, and it never gets done. I talk to them, and they talk to me. The problem is the problem is this: our children. You can't tell me if my child get baby steps. You can't tell me that.
I understand. And sometimes that's the political motivation that fires it forward. But I can tell you the process we're going through now, it does exist. We are doing it. It takes us ages.
Even around the park areas.
Around the park. I would love to be able to say within half a mile of a school, I can put in a sidewalk without any complaints as long as I use city right of way.
Correct.
I would love to be able to say that. I don't have that on the books yet. This gentleman is working very hard to make sure we can get things like that written into our regulations and our code so that we don't bicker back and forth with folks that don't like the idea of a sidewalk because they have to shovel it or because it will change the way the front of their home.
No, that's another issue.
It's about how the community uses the space, and it is the community space that I would like to be able to use to get children safely to school. So I mean, we're working on it. I promise we're working on it. But
I'll be around.
we will make mistakes. Hopefully they are small mistakes.
Well, I love the mistakes because it shows selective enforcement.
Well,
but believe me, this is all about. But no, all jokes
I don't know
aside,
that it's selective enforcement.
it is selective enforcement. When you have the police there, you had the code and parking people ride by, and they see your vehicle here, and they do nothing. They saw my vehicles, and they ticketed them, told them, and they all sitting in Gaithersburg. Now, the second time.
It bugs me when they tell them to Gaithersburg and they don't tell all of them to Gaithersburg.
Well, no, it's good for me because now it's a payday, and it's going to be used the correct way. But my problem, I'm serious. I'm not from your town, but I walk your town, and I see people pushing carts. I see elderly. I see and that is a problem.
It's the person in a mobility scooter that I worry about.
Yeah.
It's the person trying to get their groceries home that I worry about. It's the jogging stroller with 2 babies in it.
Yeah, just like this here.
That's why we do what we do.
And I'm pretty sure you saw the vines. The gentleman came out and cleaned it. Unacceptable.
It's unacceptable that it got that far. A lot of our cleaning and so we only have the little bit of staff that we have. So a lot of our
they should allocate money to you guys to do the job. It's what I'm saying.
I would love to see
instead
more
of building trails.
Well, that again,
I'm serious. That money should be moved to where it is needed.
But it's grant funded, and so that grant is only for those trails. So I can't take it from there and put it somewhere else. But what I will say is that a lot of our interactions, like the kudzu vines here, we respond to community outreach. So if you call in a complaint, if you call in that issue, now I understand. Your complaints may not get responded to.
Yeah, that's cool. All right, hey, let the taxpayers do it.
But my point is that a lot of that cleanup or enforcement is done on that direct request. So if I notice that someone's driveway apron is cracked and broken, I'm not going to go and pick on that property owner until I have someone that says, hey, I can't get my wheelchair past this. And then I've been notified about the issue, and yes, I'm going to go enforce on it.
Okay.
So there's a process.
I'm notifying you right now, and maybe you all you all just ride around it, but majority of your signs are hitting by trees. You can't even see them.
Yep.
You can't even see them. So I don't know if you're going to have guys come and clean up around your sign, but
we do. But it's typically when somebody calls out, hey, I couldn't see this stop sign, I got a ticket, you have to clear the stop sign.
Why does it take him getting the ticket that he's going to have to pay?
Well,
you see what I'm saying?
If the stop sign is covered, they often don't have to pay. So it's a dance.
All
right. But the reason I say that is because Takoma Park is so strong on the trees that you really have to give me a reason to come in and cut a tree. I'm never going to go and find a reason.
Safety. That's why you put a sign there. Safety. But that's like these no parking signs. If somebody was speeding here and they hit your car, you know who's going to be at fault? The person that's driving. Not him, but the person that's driving. Because it's a Takoma Park car.
I'm not a lawyer. I don't know.
No, but I'm just saying that's what they would say, but they would lose anyway because he illegally parked. But I'm saying, sign-wise, you got a lot of signs hidden by trees that people don't even see.
Do you know about the MyTKPK system? Do you use it now?
No.
Okay.
No, I don't.
If you go to the city's website, there's a search bar at the top of every page. MyTKPK, just type that in there, those 6 letters, MYTKPK. It'll take you to our contact us. Basically, it's how we get a lot of those work.
But that's not what I want to do. I'm getting a platform of your taxpayers more and more.
I'm telling you.
Okay, go ahead.
The MyTKPK system, it does create an electronic ticket. That electronic ticket gets routed to the correct staff, and then it basically gives a time and date stamp on that request. And so if nothing happens for 6 months, you get to go back and say, hey, we talked about this in June, and it's not happening in December. What gives? It's a very clear, it's very direct, and it's fully trackable. And so before we really use the MyTKPK system, I would always tell folks to email me for the exact same reasons, date and time stamp. And then if it goes by and it's been a year and I haven't done what you asked me to do, well, you get to come back and you get to now CC your council person. You get to CC the mayor and say, hey, city employee's not doing anything. Why is that? Anyway, I don't want to take up all your day.
Okay.
That was my you're late for your meeting reminder that just pinged in my pocket.
Yeah, you guys go ahead. All right, I appreciate it. I mean,
I mean, we'll chat more. I'm gonna be.
Yeah,
down
you're gonna
here
see me
filming
more
stuff.
around here. I do. I really have a problem with
And
these
just 'cause you're not
sidewalks.
from here doesn't mean you can't be.
Oh no, I know that. I mean, where I'm from, we have sidewalks on both sides of our streets in our neighborhoods for the safety of
It's
the children.
older neighborhoods that are so hard to difficult to build into if they didn't do it in the beginning. So there are parts of DC perfectly sidewalk, absolutely massive, and there are parts of DC that they fight with this every single day.
Once I get through with this, I'm being DC, DC, Virginia. You gentlemen be safe, man. Y'all be careful out there. All right. So you heard that from them. You know, illegal parking is illegal parking. I don't care how you snow it, you know. But parking enforcement and the police didn't come down to put a ticket on it. But as he said, they have a site that you can go to and file complaints, taxpayers, and keep a tracking on it, see if they come out and do it. But in your town, these sidewalks need to be put in on these streets for the safety of your elderly and your children and your handicap. Here's a street here. Look, no sidewalk. And look, this is the street they came from. Look, all the leaves, no sidewalk. Your children have to walk down these streets. And if they're on that side, they're talking about right of way. These people have driveways. There's an easement. I think it's 16 from the center line or something. Look, all the leaves. Most of these people talking about they don't want to give up their land. But the problem is, would you want your child hit or your grandparents hit? This car here is parked the wrong side of the street. No sidewalks. You would change your way of thinking if one of your family members were hit. But that's not even the issue. The issue is doing what is right. The government doing what is right. Now, this is what I'm talking about right here. This sidewalk stops right here. Why is that? You see this? This sidewalk starts here instead of going straight down. And you can't tell me you're saying that he's saying that the measurements don't add up. As you see down this street here, the sidewalk stops on this side going down that street. Look at this. Still parked on the sidewalk all day long. Where's code enforcement? Where's the police? Still here. She could park out on the street right there. But they rather block the sidewalk. Now, why would the sidewalk come way up here and there? So with his measurements don't make any sense. I'm on the sidewalk here. You see how much room from the sidewalk to that. Look at this. Look at this here. He finna park this truck right here, illegal. Look at it. They just don't give a fuck. And this is the street we're talking about right here. This is the ABC Park. All right. No sidewalk. No sidewalk. Children come to this park and play. They come from across there. They come from the houses there. They come from down this street. But when they get to the park, most of the time there is no sidewalk. Safety is paramount for the youth, the elderly, and the handicapped. And I don't care about what bootlicker, ass kisser out there talking about they don't want a piece of their yard. This, you don't own the easement in front of your property if you live on the street. By law, a percentage of that is for sidewalks and for the handicapped, the elderly, and the young to walk on these kind of sidewalks. But these people, because these individuals are bootlickers, this is what they do. They manipulate the rules. And this is what he was talking about here. Sligo Mill Road. This is what he's talking about, a sidewalk. I care less about maintaining this road right now. Because one, yeah, on this side of the street, there should be sidewalks all over. This little town. And for you to say, oh, the measurements aren't right, that's bullshit. Because this street is the same measurement as if you were going down this side of the street. This street on this side is not wider than this street up here. But yet and still, the sidewalk stops here. So, again, his argument does not hold water. This street is the same width across everywhere down. That street's the same width. Until you get to the part where it dips out more. But we have a sidewalk here. We have a sidewalk over there. And matter of fact, you see the little grass in between the sidewalk and the street? Come on, man. We got room to put sidewalks all over this town. The reason and the problem is it's about money. And like I told him, I care less about a trail where a grown person can ride down this street. And this is Sligo Mill Road right here. And when you get up here to Sheridan, When you get up here, if you riding a bicycle and you riding on Sligo Mill Road, you make this right here onto Sheridan and go out to New Hampshire Avenue. And you go out to New Hampshire Avenue and get on that damn sidewalk and ride it down. But this is where they say they want to spend thousands of dollars. And I'm pretty sure it's more than $1,000, close to $1 million, to put a bike trail that runs down this dead end street. Now my thing is, you claim you got a grant to put a trail that runs all the way down here and down to this dead end street, and you're gonna spend millions of dollars to do that instead of putting sidewalks on the street in the neighborhoods where your elderly, handicapped, and children walk. He know damn well he finna go do something he shouldn't be doing. Look at him, turning around. You see, if we had the police down here patrolling, they wouldn't be down here. Look at that shit. He got no parking, but he gonna park here anyway. Come back later on and see if he dumped any shit over there. Stand by.